The OOTD T10 Pro is a powerful electric scooter designed to handle almost any terrain while delivering a lot of fun and adrenaline. How does it perform in real-world use? Is it worth buying? What are its biggest strengths and weaknesses? How do you unlock it, and how do you change the lighting? I will cover all of that in today's review. At the end, I also included a discount code from the manufacturer for my viewers. Let's begin. The OOTD T10 Pro is not the kind of scooter you casually pick up, throw into the trunk, and pretend it is just a slightly more powerful city scooter. This is a large, heavy, fast machine that makes one thing clear from the first few meters. The fun really starts only when you get to know both the scooter and your own limits. And that is why it is worth starting with respect. On paper, the OOTD T10 Pro looks like a machine that almost asks for strong praise. Two motors with a peak power of 1,300 watts each, 2 times 30 Newton meters of torque, a 52-volt 23.4 ampere-hour battery, a declared range of up to 70 kilometers, suspension based on large springs, 11-inch off-road tires, and hydraulic brakes with 140mm discs. It sounds like a recipe for a scooter that can handle almost any terrain and lets you have serious fun where it is safe and appropriate to do so. But specifications are one thing, and riding more than 100 kilometers in real conditions is something else. After these tests, I can say one thing: with this scooter, the biggest limitation quickly stops being the machine itself. The rider becomes the biggest limitation. First impressions and specifications. Before talking about the ride, we need to start with the construction, because the T10 Pro makes a strong first impression right away. It looks great. Large off-road wheels, a massive frame, yellow springs, illuminated sides, a large deck, and an aggressive shape make it hard to ignore. This is not a delicate city scooter. It looks more like a machine that wants to leave the asphalt at the first possible opportunity. The deck is very large. This is one of those things you appreciate after just a few minutes. You can easily place both feet next to each other with plenty of room left. People with larger shoe sizes, or those who can never find a comfortable stance on smaller scooters, will really appreciate it. There is enough space to stand firmly, change position, brace yourself harder during acceleration or braking, and even during tricks. I quickly found a comfortable riding position. At the rear, there is also a large rubberized footrest. It is set at a good angle and works well during more dynamic riding. You can brace against it, shift your body weight, and control the scooter better. With a machine that has this much torque, it is not decoration. It is a part that helps you stay in control during sudden bursts of acceleration. The 23.4 ampere-hour battery is hidden inside the massive deck. On the left side, there is a kickstand, and in practice it works well. The OOTD T10 stands steadily on different surfaces. On the right side at the rear, there is the charging port, and this is my first specific criticism. The port is covered by a spring-loaded flap, but this solution did not survive off-road riding. Due to vibrations, the spring came apart and the flap disappeared somewhere in the forest. A simpler and more durable solution would be better here. Even a solid rubber plug would probably work better. And then there is the weight. The T10 Pro weighs around 40 kilograms. This needs to be said clearly because it is easy to ignore when looking at photos or specifications. 40 kilograms is very noticeable when you need to carry the scooter upstairs, move it around indoors, or load it into a car. It can be folded, and I managed to fit it into a small hatchback after folding the seats. But this is not something you do lightly or without thinking. You also need to be careful with the underside of the deck. The welds and edges are quite angular, so when loading the scooter into a car, it is best to wrap it in a blanket to avoid scratching the interior. The same applies to everyday use. If you're standing at traffic lights and holding the scooter between your legs while checking your phone or adjusting your helmet, those sharp edge parts can leave bruises on your calves. With this much weight, every accidental point impact is very noticeable. The folding system itself, however, is very well designed. It has double protection and gives a strong feeling of solidity. There is no sense that after a few rides, something will become loose, start wobbling, or develop movement over time. On such a powerful scooter, this is very important because the handlebar column needs to inspire confidence. Here, it does. Lighting that deserves attention. One of the biggest advantages of this scooter is the lighting. The entire handlebar column has digital LED lighting, the sides of the deck are illuminated, and at the rear there is a brake light that flashes and pulses when braking. The position lights are clearly visible. There are also rear turn signals. It is only a shame that there are no front turn signals. The front light deserves separate praise. It uses a dual lens setup and shines really well. There is a strong beam forward, but also good side illumination, which makes it easier to see the roadside, potholes, and uneven surfaces. This is not a light included only so someone can write lighting in the specification. You can actually ride in the dark and see what is ahead of you. The side lighting and digital LED strip can be controlled. When switched on, a smooth growing animation appears. A quick 5-time press of the LED button changes the color from RGB to white, then light blue, and then red. In red, the scooter looks very aggressive. Not everyone will need this effect, but in the evening it looks impressive and, most importantly, improves visibility. Handlebar ergonomics. Let's stop for a moment at the handlebar because this is where I have mixed feelings. The handlebar itself is large, stable, and comfortable to hold. On the right side, there is a thumb throttle and a large red button for the LED lighting. In the center, there is a fairly large display. On the left side, there is a real control center, light switch, horn, 3-level gear selector, turn signal switch, and next to that module, 2 additional buttons, Eco or Boost, and single or dual, meaning switching between 1 motor and 2 motor riding. This is where the ergonomic issue begins. Even when riding at a low speed, it is quite difficult to comfortably reach the motor mode and power mode switches. Most often, your hand catches the horn. In my opinion, it would be much better from the factory to move the single dual button to the right side in place of the LED button. That would feel more natural because you change motor mode while riding much more often than you change the lighting color. Fortunately, both modules are mounted separately, so with a few minutes of work, you can swap their positions yourself. The gear selector is also positioned quite low. I would prefer classic plus and minus buttons, like on many electric bikes. It would be simpler, clearer, and more intuitive. The display shows speed, current gear, braking information, and whether the lights are on. However, it does not show whether you are riding on 1 or 2 motors, nor whether Eco or Boost mode is active, and that matters a lot. The buttons have quite a short travel, so it is easy to lose track of what is currently switched on. On a scooter with this much power, the lack of clear confirmation on the screen is a real downside, not a minor detail. The display itself is also quite large considering how little information it actually shows. Because of that, it becomes a protruding element that can easily be scratched or damaged during folding and transport. Functionally, it could be smaller and readability would not suffer. Real-world riding experience. Now let's talk about riding, because this is where the OOTD T10 Pro shows its real character. In the locked version, first gear works like a walking mode. The scooter accelerates to about 3 to 4 kilometers per hour and is completely civilized, calm, predictable, gentle. But once the limiter is removed, it becomes a completely different story. Even in first gear, with 2 motors and boost mode, it is very easy to spin the wheels on almost any surface. The torque and power are so high that you really need to hold the handlebar firmly. Even while riding, if you twist the throttle harder, the scooter can pull forward so strongly that you instinctively tighten your grip. This is not a scooter you ride one-handed with a coffee in the other hand. You need to know what you're doing. After a few rides, I quickly realized that I most often used either 1 motor in boost mode or 2 motors in eco mode. Eco mode gives a much smoother, more relaxed acceleration curve. It is easier to control, especially off-road or where traction is not perfect. Boost mode gives immediate power. It is great if you know what you're doing. It can be tiring and potentially dangerous if someone only wants to see how fast it goes. And it goes very hard. There was no hill I could not climb. In a bike park, I was able to start almost from a standstill and climb 2-meter ramps with an angle of around 45 degrees. In the forest, near a water reservoir, the scooter handled roots, gravel, sand, and uneven surfaces. The thick off-road tires work very well and provide a lot of grip. The 2-wheel drive is also a huge help off-road because the scooter not only pulls strongly but does so predictably. The T10 PRO went everywhere that only some of the electric bikes I have tested were able to manage. There is no shortage of power here, and there is always plenty of it available on demand. I do not fully like the throttle itself. In both Eco and Boost modes, there is quite a large dead zone before the motor starts working. For people who are not used to it, this may be problematic because the scooter only begins to move after turning the throttle by around 25%. After unlocking the speed, it can easily accelerate to around 70 km per hour, both on one motor and on two motors. And again, I need to emphasize, this is not a speed for playing around without experience, a helmet, and common sense. Since we are on that topic, always ride with a helmet. On this type of equipment, it is absolutely essential. Ultimately, the person most responsible for your safety is you. Suspension, range, and brakes. The suspension also does its job, although in my case it required adjustment. At first, hitting obstacles and riding over slopes felt as if the scooter was more crashing into the obstacle than rolling over it. I could feel it in my hands quite quickly. After adjustment, it became much better. The ability to adjust the suspension is very important here because you can tune it to your weight, riding style, and terrain. What about range? In my case, I easily rode 50 kilometers and still had one battery bar left on the display. Importantly, this was not calm riding on flat ground. I rode in mixed mode, played with climbs, used two motors, and tested both my own limits and the scooter's. That is why I believe the declared range of around 70 kilometers is possible with more reasonable riding, but real range will strongly depend on riding style, rider weight, terrain, and how often you use two motors and boost mode. The brakes are excellent, hydraulic with 140mm discs, sharp and very effective. This scooter not only accelerates hard, it also brakes very well. You can stop confidently, control your speed on descents, and even play around with the rear wheel a bit. Honestly, this scooter has better brakes than many electric bikes I have tested. How to unlock the scooter. It is also worth explaining how to unlock and lock the scooter again. The procedure is as follows. Turn the scooter off, then hold the brake and turn it on. After a moment, quickly release and press the brake 5 times. If done correctly, the current gear will start flashing on the display, and then values from 1 to 3 will appear one after another. Locking it again is done in exactly the same way. Review summary. After 100 kilometers of testing, I feel that the OOTD T10 Pro is a machine that delivers a lot of fun, but also requires responsibility. It is not light, it is not subtle, and it has a few annoying things. A loud charger with a fan, average quality buttons with a not very responsive click, no display information for EcoBoost or single dual mode, a large screen that gets in the way during transport, no front turn signals, and a high weight that quickly makes itself known when carrying it. On the other hand, it gives people exactly what many buyers of this kind of scooter are looking for. Very high power, excellent torque, a stable deck, good suspension, great brakes, strong lighting, long range, easy locking and unlocking, and a look that simply makes an impression. Is it worth buying? If you are looking for a lightweight scooter for daily folding, carrying upstairs, and calm rides to the store, then no, this is not that type of machine. But if you want a powerful scooter for dynamic riding with a large power reserve, good suspension, excellent brakes, and the ability to ride in much more difficult terrain than a regular city bike path, the OOTD T10 Pro makes a lot of sense. It is a scooter that is not afraid of different ideas and varied terrain. It is a scooter that can deliver a huge amount of fun, but it needs to be treated with respect, because when both motors really start working and you twist the throttle, you very quickly understand that this is no longer a toy. It is real performance equipment. Coupon for viewers. OOTD has prepared a discount coupon for my viewers, €50 off. To use it, order the scooter from the official manufacturer's store and enter the code JOTEM T10 Pro at checkout.